So don't get sick, here's this one around the globe where the hits will be like. Sick when I read off speeches. Spit the ether, split out, flip off bleaches.
Here we are at White Festival with Vulgatron. From Foreign Beggars and as known as a solo project as well.
Yeah! Yeah! Vulgatron, solo project, signed to Never Say Die Records. Just dropped the first single called Dead Man, produced by Mark the Beast and Night Punk. A little something we made out in New York. Got a few more singles coming. The next one's by a producer called Bagclot. It's called Leave It.
When did the idea came up that you want to start a solo project?
Probably about 6 months ago.
And why was it for?
I like the heavy, dark music, and the direction Foreign Beggars is taking. Foreign Beggars is ever, always evolving style and sound. The next Foreign Beggars album is a very soulful, deep hip-hop album.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make some rave music. The main inspiration for it was essentially hearing the track when we were in New York. It was a pretty strange time in my life, and we had 4 days off in New York, and we met Lasha, Night Punk, at an event, and he took us to his studio. And when I walked into the studio, Mark the Beast was playing Black Dahlia Murder, and that kind of just, for me, it felt like coming home. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on listening to death metal music, so to walk into a studio with new people hearing Black Dahlia Murder, and then they showed me a few beats, and the first track they showed me was the instrumental for Dead Man, and at that point I knew I had to do something with it. It's such a serious and heavy instrumental. They made it all on analog equipment, and it took, I sat with the instrumental for about 2 months just playing it. This is so powerful, and then one day everything just came out of me in a matter of an hour.
Wait, man, just wait. Should've got the guns, let's get it.
I mean, I grew up on all sorts of music, you know what I mean? Like, at the same time I was listening to Anthrax, I was listening to, Napalm Death, I was listening to Deicide, I was listening to Two Live Crew, I was listening to Eazy-E, NWA. Also at that time, in the late 80s, early 90s, pop music was incredible, you know what I'm saying? Pop music that time was Nirvana. Pop music that time was Snoop Doggy Dogg. Pop music that time was Portishead. So we're lucky that we grew up in a generation of really, really rich musical excellence. And for me, I think the darker side of music has always called to me, So when we discovered, me and my brothers, when we discovered bands like Sepultura or Obituary or Deicide, suddenly something clicked inside of our brain, and we went on a long path of listening to deep death metal music.
It's Foreign Beggars, yeah? Sorry, no teeth. We roll so deep, got the age of old speed. Fear for death, I flow, they got no seat. For big red fire, this world, the whole world bleeds. That's the most seed, so big, moaning. Ain't things blind as up, when it's so cheap. It's the gunny grip, live at the monitor. Only one question to ask, you wanna fuck with it?
I like festival situations, but also anywhere really, do you know what I'm saying? I think headphones is a really good place to listen to music, because you can put on headphones and you're fully transported anywhere. So you can be in any kind of a situation and you put a certain song on and it'll take you there, like I could be sitting over there in those hay bales and put on some Curtis Mayfield, or I could put on some Pantera. They'll take me to 2 different places. So I think the aim of music is to take you away from the banality of what you think your existence is, even though existence is something very special.
Do you think it's a good idea to make people who are listening to popular music and very underground music, making them come together?
I think so. I think there's a lot of people who listen to popular music, you know, who haven't had the same kind of interest in music. They haven't had the interest to go and find and discover music. They put on the radio and whatever's playing, they'll just fucking sing along to. And I think a lot of those people, if they were exposed to, you know, some of the richer, some of the more intricate, intelligent sounds, then they might like it, you know what I mean?
I put my death, like a pen, right out of sight, right around the square. Bust to the baseball, skip more, go to the crowd, and now you get back for the plan. Don't be burned up, but you're coming out, and they're gonna go free for those days. I grind every night in the twilight, working the tracks, and my side stop right on the highlight.
If you're listening to music, are you much more into the lyrics or the sound?
Both.
Both. At the same level?
Yeah, I mean, like, for me, I can listen to hip-hop, I can listen to German hip-hop, I can listen to Estonian hip-hop, I can listen to Hindi hip-hop, I can listen to... If the rapper's really fucking good, it doesn't matter what language they're speaking, you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously it's a bonus if you understand the lyrics because there's a spiritual connection with it. But I think music's music, you know? It doesn't matter if the guy's actually making any words with his mouth, if he's just making sounds.
Give me a minute while I with the sauce. Give me a minute while I take your bros. You can bring the banger, I can bring the sport. London gang stacking Lizzies while I push the bro. Couple brands distribution, yeah, in the booth.
If you are going to have fun, to look for a party, what are your preferences nowadays?
For me, because I work in hip-hop music, I work in a lot of different types of like drum and bass. I work in dubstep music. I work in breakbeat music. I work in, you know, even grime music. You know, I mean, it's all affiliated stuff I work with, and I've been doing this for nearly 20 years. For me, if I want to go to a party, I want to hear techno music. I love techno music, and I love house music, and I love metal music because I don't have to work there. You know, for me, it's a pure release. It's entertainment. Or, you know, if you go see some classical music, something that is completely removed from anything to do with my sphere of influence or work. So I don't need, you know, if I'm at a hip hop show, oh, I got to speak to this person, I got to speak to this person, I got to have a conversation over here. If I'm in a jungle rave, I got to speak to so and so, speak to so and so. People are talking to me. But if I'm in a techno rave, nobody knows who the fuck I am. I don't know who the fuck anybody is, and I can just disappear in the music. I like music to blow my mind. You know, I'm not really one for like background music. You know, I don't understand. I mean, I guess there's a purpose and it serves people who make music for people who don't listen to music, or people who make music to be in the background. You know, I don't want that. I want music to completely take over my soul when I hear it. And, you know, there's lots of music all over the place. And then when you can be anywhere and something will come on, it'll take over your soul, and then you'll find out what it is, you know? So I don't have to look for it. It just does it to me. When it does it to me, then I know there's a synergy.
Everybody get the fuck down.
Get the fuck down.
Get the fuck down. Everybody get the fuck down. Everybody get the fuck down. All you motherfuckers get the fuck down. All you cool ass motherfuckers in the back, get the fuck down. Alright.
Get the fuck down, you old cunt.
Yeah. Okay. Are you fucking ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
For me, I like to stay happy. I like to stay peaceful. You know, for me, like, I make a lot of aggressive music.
Yeah, sure.
I love aggressive music, but you know, you won't see me getting in fights with people. You won't see me starting arguments with people. For me, I feel like I have that release on the stage, or I have that release when I listen to music. You know, there's a lot of people with pent-up aggression. They don't know what to do, so they're fighting with people and making problems with their family and making problems with their friends. For me, like, that's an outlet. You know, I can listen to that stuff and smile because it's a release for me. You know, I don't need to feel dark inside. Life is already challenging enough. You know what I'm saying? Especially being in the music industry. You know, the things that you see, the kind of hours that you have to keep. You don't sleep very much. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of addiction involved. So there's already a lot of darkness inside. I don't need any more darkness, you know?
Look at this fucking beautiful place. Look at the sunshine. Listen, I want to teach you the chorus. It goes like this, yeah? my modus, my modus, my modus. Then you say focus. All right, you with me? Yeah. All right, let me try that.
As you see your homeland as well, how challenging situations are there, do you think that is there still any chance to save this planet?
I think there is, but the fact that we've grown up in this capitalist situation, and I think that humans, to be able to survive, you know what I mean, you can't take on every single problem in the world, and that works some ways for the good and some ways for the bad, do you know what I'm saying? So, say for example, if a family member of yours was there starving, dying, you'd fucking try and help them, you know? But at the same time, there's people over there, you can't help everybody, so you have to look after yourself. But this mentality is okay to a certain degree because you can't take on the pain of everybody in the world.
Yeah.
But in a situation where capitalism has formed and kind of taken itself to continue to extract wealth, and there's more and more people, and the people at the bottom are getting poorer and the people at the top are getting richer. So it's like a little pyramid, and the people at the top are holding all the money and all the resources for everyone, but they have control and they have the resources to make even more money off everybody by creating demand, you know? Same company owns your shoes, same company owns your clothes, same company owns the food you eat, same company owns your entertainment, same company probably has dark operations that they're owning all the drug trade, you know? So those kind of situations in governments, it's a real imbalance, and the people at the top have zero interest in changing that status quo, and that's to say a sad situation. Because people's lives are so short, they don't necessarily get to see or experience the damage that they're doing in their lifetime. So it's always the future generations that suffer. Now, I don't know what the fuck is going on most of the time because the media, there's a lot of lies, there's a lot of scaring going on, they scare a lot of people into consumption. Same media, same conglomerate will own the left-wing paper and the right-wing paper. They'll feed everybody information that they want to have to create more of a divide and make people feel even more helpless so that they can maintain this control situation. Now, I don't know, for me, like I'm born in the era I'm born in, and you know, I look out there and I know there's pollution, but I can't see it. I see green trees, I see fields, but going to a place like New Delhi, when you come out the airport, it feels like you're standing next to a barbecue, you know? And most of that problem is there to do with that pollution is the construction that they're doing, but that's the government, and again the 1% capitalizing off those situations, so they see no interest in helping or changing that. So I don't know, it's pretty fucked, man. The way I see it, it's really sad. I think, like, I don't know, I think because everything is so fucked, it's kind of put me off like having children of my own, you know? Or not even put me off having children of my own, it's put me in a situation where it almost feels, you know, selfish for me to do something like that. But I don't know. Let's see, man, let's see. It's a strange time.
What is the meaning of life for you? I know it's a bit hard, but
rock and fucking roll, baby. Do you know what I'm saying? Have as much fun as you fucking can. Stay happy. Make the people around you happy. Have a laugh. Get tattoos. Travel the world. Fucking have fun. Get money, fuck bitches.
That's a very positive answer. When can we meet live your solo project first?
You'll have to see, man. There's no announcements for that yet.
Okay.
Cool, bro. We got.
Thank you.
Nice one, man.
What you gonna do?